dos, tres, cuatro, cinco,
First time.
seis.
First time.
First one good. Alright. Siete. Alright. So, that's almost everybody. So we'll do like a mini recap real quick. Pisces is the what sign of the zodiac? The who? Bingo. He said the one.
The foot?
Aries is one. That's next up.
Yeah, they're 12.
But Pisces, the 12 sign, is the 12 is very significant. We use it all the time. You see it on the clocks. You see it when you divide the zodiac. You see it in the Bible with the houses, the tribes, etc., you name it. The 12 is an excellent number for us to utilize when it comes to governing ourselves or organizing ourselves. We do this all naturally. And the source of this intellect that allows us to break it down like that comes from the big light, the big bro upstairs in the sky. We say the sun, we say Ra, we call it all these names, Mag, back in the day. But when it comes to Pisces, Pisces is when we went over our cosmology, how we developed the body of the stories, we put Pisces first. So we're going to get back to that. You said the right answer, but I was looking for the public general answer. Actually, the normal minds, everybody else. So when it comes to Pisces, the feet, nobody wanted to be the feet. Pisces said, I will, went ahead, took that responsibility, assumed it was endowed with beautiful gifts, abilities, etc., known and seen throughout the world in the characteristics you see in Piscean people today. But when we usually travel through the zodiac, we start Aries, Taurus, Gemini, right? When we complete our navigation through the zodiac and Pisces, for the most part, when we study, right? So, when it comes to the organization of the universe, which actually is a very ongoing thing, you notice, for example, inside the body, when you impregnate a woman, what's the first thing to develop when it comes to the physical body? For my scientists have.
The brain?
No. We talking about it right now, so you can put it together. No. What system do we teach corresponds with Pisces in here?
Skin.
Integumentary system, the skin. You start off with like 3 pieces of skin, and then your organs and brain and everything starts developing inside of that skin, right? So Pisces, in a way, is number 1, right? Because everything starts in the waters. Nowadays, when you want to learn about science and astrophysics and all these different things, you notice that the scientists and the astrophysicists, all these people, they usually start bumping their heads or they stop on purpose when it comes to the blackness, right? Last week we talked about Pisces also corresponding with the universal ocean, the ocean of infinity, if you will. Our ancestors referred to this as the waters of Nu. In you. This is where you get the word Nu, N-E-W. This is where you get the word now, N-O-W. This is where you get the word no, You're always, what is the book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now? It's always right now. That's the modern way of saying it, like the New Age thinkers, they try to, do something up and make it seem like it's theirs. The ancestors been on that. They told you about the waters of Nu and how everything comes about from those waters, even Aries, or the light. So, today we just want to pay our respects by starting off there, and then we'll travel through the zodiac real quick. But for the folks who are here for the first time, Solo Power Sundays is where we get to collect our consciousness, exchange minds, etc., and really put a bright spotlight on what matters. Not in an egotistical means, but just when it comes to what materializes, what really occurs. When things unfold or fall down and collapse into the physical world. Malkuth for all my Kabbalists. When we start off with that blackness, most of us, when we wake up, we do what? We pay attention to every single thing that we can and get our attention on. We got energy drinks, you might get a little more spark of fake consciousness, energy, you got your mind focused on other stuff. But for the most part, it's all these things that are external to us. This world of physicality, which is also the world of what? Reflection. The results are already in. This has already been done. Those chairs, somebody already produced an idea, now you're sitting on them, it's the past, right? When we take it back to Egypt, ancient Kemet, time of rain, whatever you want to call it, the ancestors told us that Aset is the throne, right? Inside the body, going back to Pisces just a little bit, going back inside the body, we see Aset found nowadays in our vocabulary in the word acid as well. Not only is the physical world the throne, not only is the black woman the throne, etc., but deep inside our body, we go to the deepest levels, we start talking about molecules, atoms, what builds the body, DNA. Who can go further than DNA? Deoxyribonucleic what? Acids. Some people could go even further, but these acids are actually responsible for facilitating the development of the whole physical body. They might have their source as far as energy and photons and substance from the sun, but at the end of the day, these acids are what we build on to fashion the things that we can see or experience as the human body in the physical world as a whole. But this all can be associated with these Piscean energies. The waters of Nu, as we call it, are already here. So when it comes, and always have been here, and always will be here. So when it comes to health, when we want to heal or get back on track, this is the original blueprint of the universe that everything is based on that we want to get back to. So when we talk about the word healing all the time, when someone cuts themselves and then the wound heals up, we call it healing of the body restored itself, right? But what was really occurring was the skin of the body returning back to its original state. So whenever we see any type of disease phenomena, I don't care what part of the body it's on, because all they do is call it a different name based on the body part and the system, etc., right? What's the difference between some dandruff and the plaque on your teeth and the plaque on your eyes? It's still plaque, it's just a location, right? Same thing with arthritis and gout, all these different terms are just different stages of the same phenomena and issues all over the place. So basically, all of us have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. We all are governed by the same laws, have to deal with the same laws, the unbreakable laws. So when it comes to rejuvenating the body, what's applicable to me is applicable to you as well, to a large degree. Because when we get detailed with it, if somebody wants to heal all the way, they're going to have to now respect itself as well as their whole lineage going back to the Creator. So some people who look like most of the people in this room, when we consume foods, we need to be eating the original foods on the planet because we are the original people, like a puzzle piece. You put the wrong puzzle piece in there, it's not going to be suitable for you. You study online for 10,000 hours for 10,000 years, you might not even make it that long studying all the healthy stuff because that stuff will kill you because it's not applicable to you. The people who are putting off that information, the scientists, the doctors, etc., they got their bread up, right? They focused on their people, their family, and that's who they cater the information to. It's open, it might say national news or might be in a recommended reading from some prestigious university, but the people who are putting together this information, keep in mind where we're at. We're on the Western Hemisphere, quote unquote, colonized, right? Post-slavery, we still dealing with that paradigm. So the best of the best of the best knowledge that's out there, we still need to be scientists, be discerners. The age of Aquarius, right? Mm-hmm. All this knowledge, all this information, it's a whole bunch of stuff out there. Everything is not applicable to every single person. Mm-hmm. So we need to have discernment. Same thing when we enter into the scientific field or with the body. We need to be eating what applies to us. So as original people, we need to not only be eating the original foods, but we need to be doing original practices, thinking original thoughts, not copycatting all the time. Copycatting under this category will also include us looking at magazines and TV and the radio, trying to figure out what to wear and what to get down with, looking at all of these things external to us, versus respecting where we come from, who we are, and being original, responsible for our powers, what we have naturally been endowed with, right? So, Pisces, as we navigate through the universe, serves as a foundation, as well as, in my opinion, from what I've studied, is the best navigator in the whole zodiac. But you can only navigate or get to or be to the degree that you understand. There's one of my favorite quotes is a man can only rise to the degree of his understanding. Period. He might access some certain things like we're getting luck, the lotto or different things like this, but he won't be able to maintain that if he doesn't have the proper understanding of how to deal with these things, right? Same thing with the body. You know, you might have been born to some parents who were extremely healthy, and they might have different practices or whatever when you were a child, or you might start eating fast foods and stuff that you liked and had to deal with some disease phenomena. But at the end of the day, you're going to still have to respect all of those things that you did to disrupt or disturb the natural laws and orders. You still fall under those rules. You're still responsible. Everything goes back to you. No one can be your savior when it comes to the nutrition. You can get a lot of information, you can study a lot of books, but as far as the practices, all of that responsibility is on you. In order to increase your understanding, you're going to have to follow some steps. One is the acquisition of knowledge, information, whatever you want to call it, enlightenment, ideas, etc. You can study, read, listen to lectures, come here, do your thing. But after you acquire that light, that knowledge, now you are responsible for it for one. So if you know if you know how pigs get down eating everything they can see, and you still choose to eat pork, unless you know how to tweak that or do some other stuff, right? That you're still responsible for that. And if you become aware and have the knowledge yourself of the science of the pig and what it does to the body, your consciousness is gonna beat you up twice as bad because you know better, right? So after you get the knowledge, the next step is the experience when you cultivate the wisdom. After your mama says, don't touch that pot, don't touch that stove, when you burn it, you touch it, your finger burnt for like a couple weeks. You might not have wanted to go through all of that, but you now have the wisdom, you now have the knowledge and the wisdom together. And after you have gone through that experience, now your consciousness will cultivate almost automatically understanding. A clearer mental picture. It's like an older brother or more evolved form of the knowledge now. You got the knowledge also with the actual comprehension of how to utilize it in a detailed way. Now it's yours. It's always yours. You just remember it. All this learning stuff is not new to you. People a lot of times say, man, you be talking about that stuff, man. I wish they would talk about that in school. Yo, it's not my information. It's already ours. I learned it from somewhere. Remember we talked about the Akashic records and all this access we got? Everybody got access to this. You know, it's just a matter of what you're interested in and the frequencies you choose to entertain, what you give attention to. So, when it comes to our health, one of the things that we stress all the time, that we need to stress a little bit more, is the importance of drinking one of my favorite elements. I love them all, but what do we need to up our ante on? Everybody. Every single time I text somebody and DM somebody, you hydrated? They be saying, 90% of the people be like, I'm about to drink the bottle right now, right? How many people in this room right now are properly hydrated?
Not properly. I could do that.
Thank you, Barbara, honestly. I'm not gonna beat you up today. Y'all on Instagram put me on blast. Don't beat up your elders and old fools.
It's
Making me look evil.
It's all Let's be okay.
I told you I gotta practice, man. On somebody. But when it comes to our water intake, the body at the end of the day is a big ocean of water, right? Just like where we come from, or what does it say in the Bible? And God made man in his image, right? When you asked, who was my man, who, they say he went to the moon. I'm like, I wasn't there, I don't know, I hear all this and all that. But when they asked him about, I don't think it was Neil Armstrong, but because they said, tell me about God. And he said, shoot, after going out there, all I can tell you is that she's black, right? But he was referring to what the scientists and all them call space or dark matter, etc., what our ancestors called the waters of Nu, which we are still in, this big ocean, right? At the end of the day, you are a concentrated, organized version of that. You might have developed up until this point, single-cell organisms, sea algae, different aquatic animals, etc. You might be the most supreme version of it, but at the end of the day, you still are it. You know? Mm-hmm. So this is what we want to get into the frame of mind of respecting when it comes to our health. Truly. It's one thing to read about some herbs or drink some water, eat some fruits, and be feeling good about yourself. When you feel better, you might have knocked out some symptoms, but as far as really being who you are, that's what we want to direct the consciousness and the mind at this time. And for the rest of your life, we just want to throw it out there and push you, give you a little push on the back, just a tad bit. Some of y'all are hard-headed, so we want to put some fire in your ass.
You feel me?
You know? Because it's necessary at times. It's all we got, right? It's only us. At the end of the day, who came here 2 weeks ago? Solar Power Sundays. The time is right now. It's the same now as it was then. The only difference from then and now is what? The Earth is in a different position in its relationship to the sun. There's a different type of electromagnetism hitting the people from different stellar angles, whatever they're closest to. It's a different tug. But at the end of the day, we're still in the now. Don't be fooled about the days. You know, we might have been taught something. It's a new day, and yesterday, all you did was go to sleep and wake up right back to the right now. Right? The waters of Nu, that Piscean energy. You know, it's one thing to have a wet body in water, but this particular ocean is what the water is more so a reflection of. This is like a little sister. The water that we drink, this is a little sister to the waters of Nu. Right? And it's essential that we flesh out the body on a regular basis, or else, I'm going to leave it like that. Water at the end of the day is a portal. It's a medium. Every time some life is brought, what does it need? Water. High quality H2O. Period. If it's filthy water, if it has things in it and the organization is not up to par, you notice that the byproduct of the things that are birthed there are going to be distorted and it's going to mirror its origin point. Same thing with you on a regular basis. Your body is filled with water. Your body is producing brand new cells every single day, every single moment. You done killed off and made millions and millions of cells since you've been in here already, right? But the thing is, the cells that you're manifesting, the cells that you're producing are only able to manifest according to the ingredients that you put in here. The cleanliness of the water and the types of foods that you eat that structure the water, that determine the vibration and frequency of the water. Remember we talked about the body, the physical body, the water in it being like a battery, and if you want to dictate the charge or the ampage, that comes about from you and your food selections. Another one of my favorite quotes that I'm about to butcher, it goes something like, he or she is not ready to delve into metaphysics or co-science or something like that until he is ready to make the proper selection of foods, right? Unless you know what you're doing and you're bending and tweaking it, breaking it down, producing some type of alchemy, so you're tweaking it to serve you. If you're on that level, do your thing. For everybody else, this applies directly to you, right? If we don't know, it's one thing to say I love myself. I ask people all the time, especially my friends, do you love yourself? Yeah, that's the thing. They say it without a hesitation. But when it comes to the actual practice, what do you do to love yourself? They be looking around, you know, I treat myself, I go to the movies, they talk about all these external things. And when we pay attention to those things and the effect that it has on the person, a lot of times it don't have nothing to do with respecting who we truly are. As a matter of fact, 2019, all of these different things that we're exposed to that are habits for us, they take us away from this. And that's exactly how we get disease phenomena in the body, by becoming more and more unlike our natural self, our original self. Speaking of natural, the ancestors used to use the words what? Instead of God. Neter. What else? that would be a deity, right? But I was looking for that NTR, nature. So when you're dealing with nature, that's something that you step to the side. If we kill everybody on the planet right now, what is going to happen to nature? It is not going to be bothered, not one slightest bit. It might take a breath of fresh air because we've been jacking it up so much, right? But that nature is a reflection of the eternal energy process of the universe. If you pay attention to it, you notice that plant life is always going to be living in abundance. It's actually always going to reproduce and manifest different things according to the times and to suit it, to suit the planet. You know, plants are highly intelligent. If you want to study a little bit more about that, we don't want to sidetrack too much, you can get a book by Peter Tompkins called The Secret Life of Plants. It's right on the board. The Secret Life of Plants by Peter Tompkins. And Stevie Wonder actually did the soundtrack. You know, he did this thing over there. I think I'm spelling it right. Secret Life of Plants by Peter Tompkins. In this book, the only thing I wanted to pull out was when it comes to...
You missed the one.
Life.
Oh, dang. The main part. The secret life of what, brother? I wanted to expound on one portion. I still jacked it up?
Read it.
The secret plans to... Oh, dang. You know what I'm talking about. You about to edit that. The secret life of plants.
Too many ofs.
Stop messing with me. So when a plant, or let's say somebody poisons a plant, let's say when they start colonizing over here, dropping stuff, littering and all that, you know, type of that frequency that was in the forest on the earth, the plants are so intelligent that they will identify, notice the problem, get together, communicate amongst each other through their electromagnetic fields, and produce a solution or some type of plant that will kill off the poisons. If the poison isn't continually fed, you know, they'll kill it off. Then, after those plants are not necessary anymore, they will unravel, go back into the earth, and things will go back to normal. Or to a situation that's best for them at that particular time, right? Just like, who's familiar with, my favorite, oh my God, Masaru Emoto. Is the power of water, the secret life of water, right? In this book, in his series of book, he repeats about a project he did in the lab where he took some water and he poured it in the cups, right? If you've been here for Solar Power Sunday, you should remember this. Talking about the test job. I better have all the answers. He would take some cups to his left, some cups to the right. He put water in the cups, water in the glasses, and around them, he will put different melodies, different peaceful sayings, prayers, I love you, speak to him in some of the glasses. And on the other side, on the other group, he would say things like, F you, I hate you, rock and roll music, and all of these frequencies or vibrations that were of a lower nature. ELFs, he might have been playing radios, TVs, and stuff around it or something. And after freezing the water and photographing the water, you will notice that it has a life of its own, and that the higher frequencies will have each picture looking almost like a snowflake, nothing identical to any other bowls, but you will notice that the symmetry, the geometry was almost perfect and flawless. And then when you looked on the other side, it didn't even look like a shape sometimes. It just looked like mud and bubbles all over the place, looked like sloppy, muddy water, right? So when it comes to the plants have that same level of intelligence, emotions, you know? In a lot of cases, they are way more intelligent than us. Who's ever seen animals? When there's something going on, this emergency, is some type of weather, natural disaster, what they doing?
Going crazy.
They going crazy. If they are in some type of limited space. If they're not limited, they will go the opposite way. trying to get
They're
the
alerting you.
And this could be days before it even hits the humans. Why are they able to do this? Instinct, nature, frequency. But why are they able to do that and we walking around driving looking crazy when a tornado comes?
We're not in the present moment.
Because we're not in the present moment?
Yeah.
We're not ooh! I thought this was the conscious community. So, the reason is because we aren't tuned in. We aren't plugged in. We're not earthing. We're not eating the proper types of foods. Keep in mind where we're getting these foods from. It's one thing to eat an apple, orange, watermelon, all these healthy things, but what are they really? They are a condensed, edible version of frequency, a reflection of God, right? Natural. It's just like a plug in a socket. That's your plug back into the. You don't got no plugs on you. That's your way of connecting back into the natural fields of the universe, right? And the more and more we stray away from doing that, the more and more we get old, crusty, slow, retarded, acting crazy, being mean to each other, behavior issues, writing crazy stuff on the board. I'm in there too, right? So the more and more we tune like a piano, the more and more we fine tune ourselves by putting in the appropriate things, the more and more we can be like our original selves. What's crazy is that some people, and amazing, nothing, it's not crazy. What's amazing is that a lot of times when people have been eating ridiculous their whole life, and then they start eating healthy and fasting and tuning in, one of my friends said the other day, oh man, that feels so good, but it also feels so familiar. Right? Just like the only time is now, we've been here. You just remembering all these things, getting back to how we're supposed to be. We just were born into this paradigm with all these different things going on. It's one thing to be like, oh dang, Donald Trump the president, they jacking up the food, Monsanto, we got GMO stuff in the health food store, oh, we just about to die. That type of mentality, for those, that's gonna be their reality. If that's what they believe in, if that's what they promote. For everybody else who's a little more intelligent, the people who really love themselves, for you guys, all that means is that you see what the issue is, the problem is, now what you about to do about it. What are you gonna do? Because you have the power to do something. They're not as intelligent as you, by far. They're very, very far away from your true potential. Who was that? Dr. Francis Cress Wilson put them on blast on national TV, right? Biologically recessive, their minds, their behavior, everything comes at a 2, 3, 4, 5th place compared to you. So imagine if you just tuned yourself up from the inside out. They could watch you on the social media. They could have the TVs and all this stuff with or the telephone poles with the cameras and all of that, watching your every move. But the only real secret, to my knowledge, because anybody could get got or say they're gonna do something and not keep secrets. The only real secret that's definitely not able to be communicated unless it comes from you is your inner journey, the inner world. They can't really do nothing. They trying with all these GMO foods and the biological warfare and all of that. They trying because they know who you are. But at the end of the day, this is the Armageddon and the secret battle that we need to conquer and man up and be successful at. Because once we do that collectively, we don't need a lot of people. All we need is a critical mass, because the masses are what? What's the F word? The masses are followers. I promise you. There's so much stuff on the internet, look right now, that's not even cool. And everybody's doing it. Why? Because it was, for example, the guys with the purses, right? I remember when I first saw that, like, what? They're crazy. Ain't nobody about to put on no purses. I go on the social media now, it's tons of dudes, celebrities rocking purses. As soon as they did it, what happened? Everybody. If anybody who into that, do your thing. I'm just making an example, showing what happens with the masses. So in here, what we're suggesting is that if we just take the time to rededicate our attention and funnel it right here and produce the best possible frequencies, vibrations, best selection of foods. What should I eat? I said, you already know what's in your area. You already know what's not supposed to go in your body. Because every time I say something, it'd be, oh yeah, you right. Let me hide this. When I drive power with my car, turning the meat upside down, all that type of crazy stuff. You already know what's up. It's 2019, supposedly, right? So if you don't got it by now, it's not much anybody outside of you can do. But motivate you or inspire you or whatever, all that real work is going to have to come from the inside, the real you, period. And this is who you are. The blackness, the waters of new, the infinite lights in the form of you. You might have some type of parameters or limitations where you are, but at the end of the day, inside of that is infinite potential, and we shut it down every time we harmonize with or partake in those frequencies, unless you're doing it for a reason and know what you're doing, right? Because it's an infinite universe with infinite possibilities, but just for the natural rhythm, the mainstream people, the masses, some things we just have to be real with. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't cultivated that level of spiritual discipline, stay in your lane, right? Don't start jumping crazy going all over there. As far as the fleshing out of the body, a lot of people ask, how much water should I drink per day? I used to go with a gallon a day. I used to go with the half your body weight in ounces. The main thing I usually suggest now is that you just drink as much as you can without feeling uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, it's one thing for you to be remember, comfort is the enemy of achievement, right? So do as much as you can, as often as you can, without upsetting the body or whatever. But when it comes to our current conditions, realistically, we're filthy on the inside. Right? We go to and we fill up the churches, thinking we about to go to heaven if we die. Right? Knowing, we done cut somebody out on the way, pulling up in the parking lot, doing something crazy, right? But as far as this purification process of the body of the spirit, this falls under the vibration of Pisces. Why? Because remember we talk about the polar opposite being that plug or the key to access that. On the opposite side of the zodiac, we have our handy dandy friend Virgo, who corresponds with what inside our body? Digestive system, gut, womb, right? Another pool of ocean water that's usually filled up with a whole bunch of solids. The way I be saying, people,
no.
Huh? The other day I'm at Whole Foods and I see a sister get one box from the food, I don't even know the name, prep foods area, where they get, the self-serve or whatever. She goes to the register, one little cardboard little box, not even 6 inches long. Puts it down, the lady rings it up and says $50-something. I'm like, God damn. that heavy content. Just imagine, just use your imagination. Because I know none of y'all eat crazy like that. Y'all eat leaves and air and stuff, right? Imagine what that level of density is doing to that person's body. And they was going through like it was a habit, like they used to it. They knew what to grab, blah, blah, blah. That on a regular basis is damaging and shutting down your potential. Notice also how much people do all of that crazy stuff and they still waking up every day, smiling, doing whatever, to the point that you can not really hardly tell if somebody got something sick going on, if they're not really with some pronounced symptoms, right? So your body is still holding on, loving you that much to let you excel and experience with you beating up upside the head every day. Imagine what your potential would be like if you loved on it, cultivated some clean spaces inside, and filled it up with the appropriate original frequencies of the universe. That's how we're going to talk about, that's how we're going to describe nature from this point out. I might forget that, so remind me if I bring it up and don't say it at the end. But when it comes to nature, when it comes to English, let's stop just using these words, because we usually see things from the outside in or just describe something. But what is nature at the end of the day? What is a fruit or a vegetable or a herb, a sea algae? It is different levels of frequency and potential and different levels of nutrients that are necessary at different points. It's one thing to have the Daniel fast. It's one thing to eat alkaline, but at the end of the day, if you want to address the self in its totality, we're going to have to widen the spectrum, right? After you get bored with that, just learn something else. Learn another group. You might do an algae fast, sea vegetable fast, then right after you do a fruit fast or something like that to take it to the next level. Some of y'all be jumping right into the water fast. That's cool, but let's combine that with being outside for like 2-3 hours. As much skin exposure as you can to the sun. So all that water that you're consuming, you tweaking it and you structuring it with the light, right? What happens when you structure the water with the light? You get different shapes, but you also tweak consciousness. Remember that Dr. Masaru Emoto project with the frequencies? That's consciousness. Now keep in mind, that's just the bottles. Your body is 99.99999% water. Don't let them fool you with that 60, 70, 80% stuff on the internet. Everything in your body is made out of water, right? So just imagine what's going on in your body with all those holy thoughts, those holy, majestic thoughts that you think every day, right? What impact is that having on your body? Everybody think pure holy thoughts, right? Put your hand up if you don't.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna put yourself on blast. Y'all ain't even on the camera. Y'all can tell the truth. Everybody think holy thoughts in here?
Oh, for sure not.
If you think holy thoughts only, raise your hand.
Oh, no.
My hand ain't even up. Alright, so what does that mean? We're gonna have to, now you're responsible for the information. Now you're gonna have to take the time to tweak and just address those things. There's nothing wrong with sitting down when you get into your meditation and observing and listening to what comes to your mind, what comes to the surface of your attention, right? There's nothing wrong with chilling and just observing it first, so you know what you've been doing in those conditioning exercises subconsciously for your subconscious mind. You get to see how you structured it, and now you get to undo it if you're not satisfied. But this is the level of extremity that we have to take it, not just the fools. You have to hit it on every level. And when you hit those emotions, who be getting emotional and attitudes here? I'm the only one? Is somebody, my ball down? Everybody at different times. In real life, scientifically, an emotion lasts for how many seconds? Who remembers? Who said 3? 3 seconds. So that means what? If somebody stepped on your toe, you still got an attitude 10 minutes later, you tripping. All of y'all tripping. I'm tripping. Everybody tripping. This is another level that we need to just, grab the steering wheel on. When it comes to emotions, it's one thing to drown in it, get all worked up. It's another thing to observe it and just create like a surfboard effect on the top. Or hover above it like a hawk. Right? These are just different small exercises. I don't see no pins going. I know y'all know all this other stuff. It's all good. Y'all got extra good memories. But these are different ways that we can tweak the waters in our body. And I promise you, if you hit the tipping point where you get, everybody's is different because they feel with all types of different things. But I know for myself, when I'm cleaning, it gets to a point where I can feel myself feel better than I ever felt before. And from that point on, if you stay on point, you can feel your body adjust and tweak and notice it as you eat certain foods, and kind of, you can make your own type of game with it if you want to. I'm going to eat these foods so I can feel a little boost. I'm going to hold off on that because I know that'll make me feel the best. And I promise you, if you use that feeling intelligent method versus, man, I feel like I want some KFC. I think I want some XYZ because it tastes so good. You see those two different whys? The reasoning is going to allow you to experience a whole new reality just inside your body that you don't have to pay for it. You might have to, food, yeah, but that's something you can fit in your regular grocery budget. All you have to do is tweak up and maneuver your mind and utilize a different level of intelligence. That's it, right? And when you want to excel just a little more, you will notice that intelligence will only take you so far. Eventually, you're going to have to humble yourself and open yourself back up to the ocean, right? We all have these chakra systems. We all got these different capabilities, these individual talents, these individual things that we're endowed with. But it's only so much that that individual could do. Because when you step outside, or some of you at home, in your bed, you have someone else. And you have to exchange. It's not just you. So the more and more you are humble and allow these original forces, the infinite forces, to run through you and flow through you, it's the equivalent of like shining a light through your head or through your body. And the more and more you get egotistical, arrogant, with all them crusty vibrations, look on the map of consciousness. Grief, anger, shame, all these different things that you know already don't feel good. When you feeling them, when you think of them, it don't feel good to you. I remember when I get angry, when I used to get real mad or whatever, I could feel the tension in different organs and glands. Am I the only one? Am I okay? So you see it right there. Just imagine, because we have an operation all the time, these hermetic laws we talk about, right? The law of correspondence, law of polarity. Just imagine if you did the polar opposite method that we just described, entertaining those higher frequencies. Now what feelings are you going to be having inside your body? Now what type of things are you going to be doing? Because we also know right now we do how we feel. How many people, when they are clogged up, want to go to work or want to go to what's the amusement park, see the point of something? If your stomach is all aching, how much do you really want to do right then? Right? And then when you wake up supercharged, let's say you just finished a 30-day fast. Sometimes you like, oh man, let me get a notebook and fill it up with all of the things I'm about to do or I want to do. Same thing. We can have this manifesting every day. And if we do it collectively, and if people see a group of people, they could be random throughout the city, but if they see enough people beaming, manifesting whatever deity or God force they believe in the flesh, if they're really children of God, and they see that light in you, they're going to try to get like you. They're going to try to be on your level. It's nothing cooler than being a son or a child of God and acting like it. Period. That's cooler than being a pastor. Right? Period. So, we're going to wrap it up right here. And at this point in time, you already know he don't like the intros, but I will probably repeat my testimony for the rest of my life. Time after time again. To this day, it's March 3rd, right? I got my energy cleansing January 6th at like 8 something p.m. I have been waking up feeling like a brand new man every single day. Mental clarity galore, like a reset. Like I got like how you got a video game playing, right? And you on the last life. I wasn't all effed up, like that. But hypothetically, you on the last life, and then you on Mario, you get a little point, and you get a man added on. Now you get a little lifeline. I feel like that in real life, He only communicates so much at certain times for certain reasons. But at the end, when he offers his website and information and things to you, I would highly recommend you take this man serious and just check out. Just become curious about what it is that he can probably assist you with. Some of us are blessed or endowed with different things. This brother is endowed from the ancestors, from his lineage, with some things that I've never seen before with my 2 eyes or ears this lifetime before meeting this man. I done read about some stuff, but I've never seen it in real life. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we have something here very special that you don't see in a lot of places. I haven't seen it in any state I've been traveling to. I haven't seen it in any conscious events or anything. I've seen people talk about it and milk people and, pull a fast one on people. But this is the first time I've seen an effective, deep energy worker. Not one of them little energy, like temporary zaps or whatever. Deep energy work that is thorough and permanent. Unless you do something to adjust it or put yourself back into that habitual plane you just came from. But this brother is named Dominic Holmes. If it's your first time, his umbrella or vehicle is Red Claw Conjuring. And without further ado, I need y'all to clap it up for my brother real quick. We get some vibrations in the air. So that was this is your baby food about Pisces. Now you're about to get the adult big boy version.
Adult.
Can I hype it up like that? For sure. All right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. How many people here got their charts ready? You got your chart on deck? If you don't, please go to alay.com and pull up your chart on your phone. See if you got Pisces sun, moon, or rising. There's other people in here that's familiar with astrology, so if you don't know what sun, moon, or rising is, ask them for help, please. I'm gonna say this off top. Everybody who made it here today, you were supposed to be here. You were supposed to be here, and that comes from people that, gonna trickle in later on. And I know it will be more people, trickling in. It's snowing a little bit, and it's Sunday. People lazy. That's what it is, though. So we're gonna talk about Pisces, as the brother said. That's the 12th sign on the zodiac. Go over here and look at the symbolism behind it. Right here, it's symbolized by two fish connected but swimming in opposite directions. This symbolism, it alludes to human beings, because all of us have some type of Pisces placement in our chart. We might not have a planet in Pisces. We might not have the sun or moon or Pisces rising, but Pisces is on a house cusp in your chart, and you have the planetary ruler of Pisces somewhere in your chart. So, as I said, it alludes, the symbol of the two fish connected by the tail alludes to our soul, parts of our soul striving to escape from this physical reality. So people that have Pisces suns, whoever that is, please turn that off. People who got Pisces suns, they're very, very much aloof, so to speak. They're here, but they're not here. In the higher state of the Pisces, you'll find that these people are very self-sacrificing. The lower state, you'll see that these people always play the victim role. So on one end you have the martyr, and the other end you have the victim. And they're, people with Pisces sun, moon, and rising, they're always being pulled between these roles of martyr or savior and victim. People with Pisces sun, that's the sign, if your birthday, your sun, for those who just came for the first time, Pisces, the sun is a conscious manifestation of your soul's energy. That's how you manifest your soul's energy. So if the sun was in Pisces when you were born, on the upside, you have a very compassionate nature. You're a caretaker. You like to rescue and save people. That's the Messiah energy. On the lower side of the Pisces sun, moon, and rising, you have a propensity to play the victim, to be a consummate manipulator, to be a drug addict, and try to escape your reality. So each sign has highs and lows, but we're talking about Pisces today. So I want you to understand the struggle of the Pisces, because a lot of times, how many of us got Pisces friends or are Pisces in here? Okay. A lot of times the Pisces, they find that they don't fit in because they're so in tune spiritually. They feel like they can't fit into this physical realm. So there's a lot of, perceived depression and escapism. A lot of Pisces, Pisces sun and moon, they find it necessary to drink or get high and escape this physical reality, because they understand that, through, you know, the mood altering substances, it affords them an opportunity to literally escape the bounds of their bodies. You know, and it's not like, you know, I'm getting high because I'm bored. It's like I'm getting blowed because I'm tired of this earth shit. You know? This isn't where my spirit doesn't belong here. So I'm about to elevate and escape. But the problem with that is, you know, as I told you guys before, there's nothing wrong with, you know, enjoying yourself or, you know, smoking and meditate or whatever. But when you try to escape your reality, you fail to fulfill your purpose of incarnation. You know, you're here to be part of the human experience. You know, and that's difficult for a lot of Pisces, to be part of the human experience and maintain the human experience without feeling like they're the victim or feeling like they have to save everybody else or they have to be somebody's doormat. Being spiritual don't mean people get to walk on you.
There you go.
You know, and being spiritual doesn't mean that you allow people to prey on your desire to love. You know, I find that a lot of people that are Pisces are in trouble in relationships because of their desire to rescue other people. Number one, you can't change nobody who doesn't want to change. Number two, you don't become better by letting people walk over you. Because Pisces, people with prominent Pisces placements within their chart have masochistic propensities. You know, they take and have some type of satisfaction that they gain from suffering because it makes them feel like they endured that so somebody else could be better, but they're psyching themselves out. It's a false messiah complex. You know? The Pisces moon, the people with Pisces moon, if you have Pisces moon, you need to understand that, because I understand, I'm an astrologer, I understand that you have a hard time, you know, cutting the cord, you know, from your mother and from other people, because you don't have a desire to be an individual. Like he was saying, the waters of Nu, and the waters of Nu, that's the universal substance that connects us all. It's the universal substance that connects us all. And if you would, for 1 second, you know, check out this circle. This is reality, a loop. But we see ourselves as time. You know, for example, I'm time. I'm not part of this loop, but you are part of the loop. But Jerry, over here, I'm Jerry, I'm connected to this loop. I'm aware of time, I'm aware of the past, the present, and the future because it's all contained in the loop. Jerry understands his psychic ability and his spiritual connection and everything, and Jerry is the type of person that's intuitive and psychic. Now, don't confuse this with the so-called empath that's a victim. You know, because I explained it, you know, in a video I posted on my Instagram that a lot of people claim to be and profess to be empaths when they're really victims of psychic attack. And they have a fucked up aura or a weak aura and they can't protect themselves from other people's emotions. It's because your aura is weak. It's damaged, you know. That isn't the same as being aware of your connection to everything and everybody. But most of the people are times. Most of the people in the world feel like there's no interconnection between them and other people or the environment or the world, but we're all part of the loop, everybody. Some of the characters, and I gotta keep trying to refresh because I know a lot of you guys, this is your first time here, and I'm happy to see you guys. And like I said, if you're here today, you're supposed to be here. Our rising sign tells us how the world perceives us. For those of you guys, this is your first time here. The rising sign tells how the world perceives us. The planets in your chart are characters in your life movie. The sun is your main character. The moon is the subconscious driving force that moves us through our journey in life. It's our instinctual force that moves us and throttles us from behind the scenes. It's our natural desire to move forward or whatever, what have you. The natural house placement of Pisces is the 12th house, and it won't be on your 12th house for everybody, but the 12th house is the natural house of Pisces. Some people call it the house of karma, the house of losses, secret enemies, sorrow. It's definitely the house of retreat, where we go to recharge ourselves. Mm-hmm. For that, go on the YouTube page, type in www.redclawconjurer.com. Watch last week's Solar Powered Sunday, because I talked about that last week. For y'all that want the refresher, go on YouTube, type in my website, and look at last week's Solar Powered Sunday. And I go deep into the houses and karma and all that stuff. But it's the 12th house is the natural placement for Pisces. The ruler is Neptune. Neptune is the modern ruler. The ancient ruler was Jupiter, because way back they didn't have all the good telescopes and stuff that they got now. And then as the ages changed, they became exposed to the outer planets, and they seen that the outer planets corresponded more to the energy of the signs, whether it was Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and those correspond to Pisces. Pisces, Aquarius, and Scorpio. So they got those signs, got ancient ruler and modern rulers. So the planet Neptune, it governs our spirituality. It governs the psychic ability, the astral plane, intuition, substance abuse, incarceration, escapism. All these models are similar. Pisces, 12th house, Neptune, they all govern similar things. Does anybody got any questions on Pisces? If you have questions, ask. If not, we're going to jump into chart reviews for people who got Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. Yes, ma'am.
What did you mean when you said the 12th house was the natural house?
The natural house, because the zodiac has a natural order. So Aries would be on the first house because it's the first sign. Taurus would be is the natural placement is the second house, so on and so forth. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
The 12th house being the bottom, would that make all of the other signs connected or within the Pisces?
The 12th house isn't the bottom.
Okay, it's the top?
No, it's a circle.
Okay, got you now.
The zodiac is a circle divided in 12 sections of 30 degrees. That's where you get to 360 degrees. The 12th house would be over here, right over the eastern horizon. So if the sun rises at Aries on meridian, then as it moves up, so this would be noon, this would be 6 a.m., this would be 6 p.m., this would be midnight. So in between 6 and 8 o'clock would be your 12th house. So this house, as light goes in and the zodiac moves counterclockwise. The wheel moves counterclockwise. So anybody got their charts pulled up? They got Pisces sun. Okay, I'm gonna get around to everybody. Just let me know. Pisces sun, we're gonna run through the suns first. Okay, she got Pisces in her third house, Pisces sun in the third. So your sun in your third house in Pisces, your third house cusp is actually Aquarius, but your sun is in Pisces. Because you don't always have equal houses. One house might be 40 degrees, but it's still, the zodiac signs are all 30 degrees, but the house signs aren't equal. Depending on where you live, your house cusp might be bigger or smaller. So, and that gives you a more precise chart. But Pisces in the third, your childhood was very spiritual, so to speak, and aloof at the same time. You know, your siblings kind of looked at you as weird and different. Imaginary friends, and they made fun of your imaginary friends, but your imaginary friends, you need to find out what their names were because they were your spirit guides. And you caught a lot of flack behind your imaginary friends. And but that's not a bad thing because they taught you things intuitively that you can still apply in this life. So kind of reverse back and remember some of those experiences, and they're going to help you with the things that you're going through today. Next. She got Pisces Sun in the first house. So she got Pisces rising and Pisces Sun. But you got a few planets in Pisces. Saturn and Mars. So it's important because your ruler is sextile to your sun. Neptune is sextile your sun, and the 11. So that tells me you have very good intuitive insights about the friends that you pick, and people turn to you because you nurture them when they're going through a lot. But it's important that you protect yourself because you can absorb a lot of that adverse energy and draw yourself into negative situations, and that ain't what you want. You know, as I said before, you tend to have a savior complex, and you can't save everybody, especially people that don't want to be saved. You know, if your girl keep going back to the same guy that keep doing her wrong, she like getting done wrong.
Ain't none of your business.
She likes getting done wrong,
Ain't none of your business.
and she likes the comforting that you give her when she get done wrong. So you're not doing her a service, you're doing her a disservice because you're enabling her to keep getting abused. You know, finding a positive way to nurture people is important for you. And I feel like because of Venus being in your first house also, although it's not in Pisces, it's important that you are proactive in your counseling of people and make it a career point. If somebody's gonna have you, you know, catering to their emotional needs, you need to get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Pisces, any more Pisces Sun? Any more? You? Okay. She got Pisces in the 10th house. Sun in the 10th. Do you read cards or anything for people? Why not? Because Pisces in the 10th, you have the propensity to be a spiritual person and work in the spiritual field. It also gives you musical gifts because Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules music, poetry, especially stringed instruments. So if you're going to play violin, cello, guitar, or anything like that, you should be using that Pisces in the 10th energy to take advantage of that and exploit those things. Especially writing, but you have Mercury retrograde next to your sun in Pisces, which means you have to internally process the things that you want to speak about, because I feel like you don't communicate what's on your mind all the time like you're supposed to. And that's not good, because when you repress things, it comes out in a warped way. You know, it's like when you squeeze a balloon. You got a water balloon, and instead of letting it out the end, you squeeze it, you squeeze all the water from one end, the balloon pops. You have to find a way to communicate your thoughts and your energy in a healthy way so you don't get sick. Because repressed emotions cause sickness. That's what causes autoimmune disease, like MS and lupus and all that stuff. So you have to, you know, learn to communicate what you're thinking and how you feel. It doesn't matter what anybody else feels about what you feel. You what matters. You what next. You brother? You got any Pisces sun, moon, and rising?
I don't know how to read that little thing.
Okay. You don't got Pisces sun, moon, and rising. But I'm gonna get with you though, because you got something else. I'm gonna get what you got to do.
This is for my child.
Okay.
She's a
Is
Pisces.
she here?
No. She can't, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
You don't say you sorry unless if you ain't no sorry motherfucker, never say you sorry.
I'm not.
Because that's negative
There you
reinforcement.
go.
Okay. I thought I was stepping out of
No.
the room. Okay.
I usually don't read for nobody that ain't here.
Okay.
But clearly your daughter is having some substance abuse issues.
Not that I know.
Not that you know of.
Not that I know.
This is something you need to talk to her about.
Gotcha.
And when I say substance, I even mean alcohol.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
Because alcohol is one of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the worst because, as I tell people who come here on a regular basis, alcohol damages your aura. It breaks down your aura and lowers your vibrations to a point where your soul doesn't want to occupy your body. And when your soul leaves out of your body, people call it blacking out, and then they get to being promiscuous or being violent. That's not because you blacked out. That's because your soul left and something else took your body for a ride. And whatever takes your body for a ride, it maintains that energetic connection to your physical vessel. And it will put thoughts in your mind that you think are your own, that inspire you to get drunk and get all lit so you can get the hell on and it can ride around and have playtime again. You understand?
Oh, I understand.
So you need to tell her, you know, get her drinking in check. Get her drinking in check and deal with whatever she's dealing with, because repressing it and trying to escape it ain't the move.
Mm.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, Pisces sun and moon.
Yep.
Okay, you got Pisces moon in the 10th. Brother, you have to be more aware because you allow people to emotionally manipulate you. You allow people to emotionally manipulate you and exploit you and take advantage of you emotionally, and that's not good because you can only give so much of yourself. You know, looking at your chart, you know, your son's placement in your chart, you know, you a Leo, you got the bravado, you know, I can carry the burden, you know, you the king of the jungle, I can carry this burden, you know, giving them coming out. You enabling people, bro. And you enabling people to hurt you. You know, it might not seem like nothing footing the bill or loan and this and not getting paid back because you got it, but just because you got it, though, that's like going to work every day and giving another man your check. You know, except you're giving them your spiritual check, your emotional check, your mental check. You have to learn to set clear boundaries because people with Pisces moon, especially in the 10th house, because that's the house of where we're seeing, you know, our bravado for the world, you know, where we're at on the world stage. You allow people to think you're their savior and you're here to rescue them, and you don't set no clear boundaries. So you enabling people You know, you enabling people and you making them weak. You a lion. Lions fuck with lions. Not
You
with sheep.
feel me?
Next.
I don't know how to read my hand.
Okay.
Okay, sis.
alane.com. alane.com.
Okay, I know these faces.
This is alane.com.
Oh, this is,
Yeah. You don't have any you don't have Pisces sun, moon, and rising. Your sun is Capricorn, your rising Aries. You got Pisces moon. Pisces moon in the 6th. Pisces moon in the 6th, brother. You have to, if you got somebody in your life that's emotionally toxic, cut them off. Because the 6th house is your house of health, bro. So when you get in emotionally toxic situations, it starts to affect your physical health and manifest first as depression. And then you stop, you know, eating properly and stuff, and then you start showing physical symptoms. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell something wrong right now. So allow yourself to set those boundaries with people that you have unhealthy emotional relationships with, because it's going to interfere with your physical health. And because it's Pisces on the 6th, that pertains to liver health, because you drink when you get depressed. And it eats your liver up. And your liver is what, you know, metabolize everything in your body. You know, filter out the toxins. Your liver ain't no good. And you're dealing with toxic emotions, eating toxic stuff, putting toxic stuff in your body. You done fried your liver. You know what's next. The poisons that your liver can't function go throughout your bloodstream, and then you out of there. And it's not gonna be a smooth ride. No. But don't worry about it. You good. What's going on?
I just had a question. What's your name?
Dominic.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, brother.
I just had a question on like how the houses, what do the houses mean, and how do they relate to the human body?
Okay. You got 12 houses.
Okay.
Each house, from the first house to the 12th, rules the area of your life. Like, say you was at the movie set. You know, each house is where a different scene take place. Your 3rd house has to do with your childhood and your early learning, you know, your friendships and stuff like that at the early stage. The 4th house has to do with your home life. The 5th house has to do with, you know, your creativity, romance and stuff like that. The children you may have or may not have.
Okay.
The 6th house is your house of health. The 7th is your house of long-term relationships and partnerships.
Do the organ system
Yeah.
relate to the organ
Yeah,
system?
each sign and each house rules. You know, the 6th house rules your health, but the signs are what, you know, govern your organ system, circulatory system, etc., etc.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah, definitely.
You got your chart pulled up?
No. Yeah.
You got your chart pulled up?
The chart is the Pisces part.
The chart.
I must be on the wrong side.
Okay, you don't have Pisces sun, moon, and rise. Yep. alane.com. Anybody else?
Can I learn more information about that on?
Yeah, you can go there. You can go to my website.
Oh, you got a website?
Yeah, redclubconjure.com.
Okay, bet.
Anybody else with Pisces placements in their chart?
Here again.
Okay.
She actually has a moon.
Sun, moon, or rising?
Moon.
She has it on her chart though.
I'm with you.
Where your chart is, sis?
While she's looking for that, this is my first time here.
Okay.
So I just give my daughter the red claw.
Yeah, if she wants some spirits and stuff.
I didn't hear you. She wants what?
If she wants some spiritual work or
Yes.
reading, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'll get you some. There should be some cards on that table. My wife might be able to grab you a card off my binder.
Okay.
Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, when you were speaking earlier, you said a lot of things that resonated with me as a Virgo. So, can you explain the implications of this Pisces time for Virgo?
Pisces is the polar opposite of Virgo. So, depending on, like you already know because you got services from me.
Yeah.
Depending on your total chart and aspects, you know, maybe to the ruler, planetary ruler of your chart and stuff like that, it might have different results. Okay. Pisces moon in the 10th again. Did you pay attention to what I told him?
No, because I was talking to her to get that.
Okay.
And which image you talking to?
To the brother right here.
I think so. I think I read.
About, you know, allowing yourself to play the savior role in the world and not being able to emotionally detach from people and enabling people. You know, you're not making them strong, you're making them weak. You know, and your sun is in a positive aspect to your moon. Your sun is in the 8th house of regeneration and other people's values. So you, by having your moon in the 10th, you know, you usually help people bounce back when you do your work. I don't know if you're a therapist or not, but you help people bounce back from real tough times. I feel like it's important that you work with sisters to help them get through their trauma and sexual abuse. You would do a great service. Great service working with them. Is this your phone or her phone? Okay. Anybody else with the Pisces placement?
How does the nose manifest?
Brother, I'm not talking about the nose.
Okay.
I'm talking about Pisces sun, moon, or rising. Pisces sun, moon, or rising. Any other questions on Pisces? Yeah. Pisces sun, moon, or rising. What's going on?
Yeah,
Or Pisces.
Just the Pisces.
Yeah. Come on.
Just really quickly, it's funny you say that because my mother is a Virgo and my grandmother is a Pisces. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this kind of explains why my grandmother and my mother has the relationship that they have. What's the best way to help a Pisces from an aspect, or the best way to communicate with the Pisces in order to get your point of view across? And I'm a Capricorn. So
The absolute best way to help the Pisces, because it's a watery sign and it's so detached from reality. A Capricorn or a Virgo or a Taurus, the best thing you can do for Pisces is help them stay grounded in reality. You know, put some structure around them and within their life. And chance to look at this chart. Yes, sir.
Alright. I know 0 degrees Pisces, sun.
Son,
Yeah.
come on.
Oh, 0 degrees.
Yeah, so he was born on the first day. Okay. And you got Pisces. Oh, okay. So she not here. Oh, I'm not gonna read that, bro. She not here. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate it.
He like, I need it.
But if y'all want to do it, if you paid attention, brother, you'll understand. Paid attention to what was being discussed today, you would understand.
That's real. I'll let that be a lesson.
Okay, as I said, everybody who's here, you showed up here for a reason today. I'm gonna ask y'all to tell y'all kids to be quiet. I'm gonna ask y'all to turn off your phones, even turn off my recorder. Yeah,
Right
turn
now.
it off.